Hello, and welcome to this talk on the online interactive documentary Living Room. My name is Caterina Sartori, and I am a research associate at the University of Manchester in the UK. I created the iDoc Living Room as part of my PhD research in visual anthropology at Goldsmiths at the University of London. I'll now record my screen as I navigate to the webpage. Living Room was submitted as the practice element of my thesis alongside my written work. In this video, I will present an overview of my research project, my focus and methods. I will show extracts of the interactive documentary, which will give you an insight into its logic and structure. The question that I ask in this project is, what does it mean to demolish a residential building? And more specifically, what does demolition look like if the building was constructed to house low-income residents as part of a national welfare state? Public housing, or what in the UK we call council or social housing. I am particularly interested in the residents' experience of demolition. The project aims to understand the temporality and materiality of demolition from the point of view of those who made the buildings their home. I will now share a short clip that opens the iDoc.
It is our home, and you cannot take it away from us by force. You cannot. I'm not making decision for you. Don't make decision for me. That's all. Do not. So who are you to decide that I should leave my home for developers, for foreign buyers? Who are you to say that?
As part of my project, I researched and collaborated with residents of one particular housing complex or housing estate, who, like Grace in this video, dissent from the demolition plans and refuse them in a variety of ways. My approach has been to work and research alongside resident groups to support their efforts against the demolition. I have been a positioned researcher who entered the field with a critical stance vis-à-vis my object of study. I position myself within the critical housing study literature that broadly considers the state-led regeneration and demolition of public housing in the UK as a project of displacement and dispossession for low-income residents, which ultimately results in gentrification and privileges middle-class urban dwellers. First off, a note on residents. While I often use this collective term to refer to those who live in the buildings, I want to make it clear that this is far from a homogeneous group. It is in fact very diverse on different counts. About 20% of residents own their properties, while the others rent from the local administration. While overall this can be considered a low-income community, there are also many who are or were on trajectories of social mobility. Many residents, and there are no conclusive numbers here, come from histories of migration, and many are racialized as Black or brown. It is fair to say that this is a mixed and diverse community on a number of counts. Refusing demolition and asserting a right to home is thus understood, articulated, and enacted in a variety of manners too. This iDoc presents some of them. I will now show a screen recording of my navigating the iDoc again. We have now arrived. The opening sequence of the iDoc takes the user into a living room on the estate. This is the central location of the iDoc. A reflection on the relationship between the private interior space of the home and the exterior, and the thresholds that mediate and connect them, runs through the project. Scholarship on the geography of the home has long suggested that the economic, political, and financial spheres are present in and constitutive of the putatively intimate and private space of the home. Home unmaking through regeneration and demolition entails a consideration of the sphere of the domestic, the home, as striated with economic, financial, and political forces, and resonances of the latter permeate the former in echoes and reverberations. In addition, during the slow undoing of homing infrastructures, of rights and access, the everyday reproduction of relations, of spaces and networks continues. living room thus tends to the political work of asserting a right to home, while also acknowledging the work of remaking home and community through everyday gestures. Resonances between these two dimensions run through the work too. Before we continue our journey through the website, a note on method. I am a visual and urban anthropologist, and I use visual and engaged ethnographic research methodologies. In the images here, you can see some of the ways in which fieldwork looked at different times for me. For 2 years, I lived in a flat apartment in the complex. I collaborated closely with residents in their campaigning. And in addition to participant observation, I used visual methods, primarily video and audio recording. Creating the audiovisual materials was a way of doing research, rather than simply a way of disseminating the results. This way of working resulted in a set of heterogeneous materials that responded to the exigencies of fieldwork, rather than to a production schedule. I then later decided to use these materials to create an interactive documentary. This format made it possible to reflect in the design and structure of the website the idea of demolition as assemblage. What do I mean by that? Through my research, I found that demolition is not a one-off spectacular event. Rather, I understand demolition as an assemblage of processes unfolding in space and time, and across domains and scales. The architecture of the website reflects this understanding of the demolition assemblage as a range of interlocking dynamics which braid together political, economic, legal, and architectural concerns with notions of deservingness, domestic space, emotional and financial investments, and value creation. From this central living room, the user can choose between 5 different pathways, each one reflecting an element of the demolition assemblage. Examples of the residents' refusal emerge within each pathway, at times explicitly and at times more implicitly. Each of the demolition processes are related to one another. Users are offered a choice to select in what order to view the pathways. With this, I want to put all elements on the same level, without privileging one over the other. I will now navigate to the pathway, the media, and then through the rest of the IDOC. The symbolic devaluation of public housing has been extensively analyzed in scholarship. Media representations have played an important role here, relentlessly connecting public housing with failure in a form of anticipatory demolition. This anticipatory effect does not just operate at the discursive level, however. The pedestrian bridges and walkways that connect the buildings on the estate to one another became the space on which many of the negative tropes about public housing converged. The pedestrian network was integral to the modernist architectural design of the complex, and its partial demolition in the 1990s anticipated the times to come. In this visual collage essay, I traced the interruption of the pedestrian circulation through collages that bring together residents' memories with archival photographs and newspaper extracts. A timeline gives a summary of key dates and offers both an alternative visualization of the pathways and also additional materials. Despite all the talk of demolition and displacement, the extended duration of the project and the frequent interruptions to the plans mean that residents continue to live in their home for long periods. The exceptionality of demolition becomes a permanent condition. In this pathway, I try to convey a sense of the everyday gestures and objects that make up homes.
So, I'll put them here.
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming. It's out. Okay, wow. Okay.
Wow. Just put it
Right
down
there,
later on. I'm gonna clean everywhere, but
Let
let's.
me come then and bring it up. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Up. Come. Here. It's too big. Will it stay?
It will.
Came along here with my mother and my brother and sister.
So when was that, more or less?
That was when it was first built. When was it built? Can't remember when it was built now.
I live here anyway from 1986, yeah.
Yeah, we swapped.
I was first swapped with my mother-in-law.
We moved it to Reading first. We had a mansion, big mansion house. And then we moved into this flat because we wanted to come to London because there was more Greek people. So communication with my mother and my sister, they wanted that. So it was only for temporary, but we got stuck there and they were going to knock them down. And they moved it over here. And now they're moving this and knocking this down and they want us out completely. Back to Reading or Scotland or wherever. It's hard to find a place.
After 10 years or 14 years, she buy the flat because she give it a discount,
Yeah,
70%
good discount, yeah.
Yeah, both this flat 18,000, 18 and a half.
18 and a half, yeah. Because we've been here all since it was
Yeah, you
built.
get 70% discount. So the flat is normally got that time you got 60,000. Yeah, he gave me the discount 70, so I get 18 and a half.
The repossession of the privately owned flats on the estate involved extended negotiations and legal procedures. A group of homeowners contested the eminent domain proceedings to expropriate their homes by engaging in a public inquiry in which their case was heard against that of the local administration. I joined the group of objectors, as they were called, and filmed the proceedings from the public gallery to create an archive and to witness the proceedings. I wrote extensively about the politics of expertise and solidarity in my thesis. This segment of the IDoc complements that written analysis. One of the pieces, called Spiral, is an attempt at conveying a sense of the bodily sensations of attending the proceedings and the sense of confusion and a disassociation that took hold at times.
By the layout of what in many cases are particularly large buildings. While it is possible that some of the maintenance shortcomings of buildings.
Okay, it's coming, it's coming. It's out. Okay, wow. Okay.
Wow. Just put it
Right
down.
there,
Later on, I'm gonna clean everywhere, but
Let
let's.
me come then and bring it up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, up, come. Here, it's too big. Will it stay?
It will.
9. Examination of the AAP.
Came along here with my mother and my brother and sister.
So when was that, more or less?
That was when it was first built. When was it built? Can't remember when it was built now.
I live here anyway from 1986, yeah.
Yeah, we swapped.
I was first swapped with my mother-in-law.
We moved it to Reading first. We had a mansion, big mansion house. And then we moved into this flat because we wanted to come to London because there was more Greek people. So communication with my mother and my sister, they wanted that. So it was only for temporary, but we got stuck there and they were going to knock them down. And they moved it over here. And now they're moving this and knocking this down and they want us out completely. Back to Reading or Scotland or wherever. It's hard to find a place.
After 10 years or 14 years, she buy the flat because she give it a discount,
Yeah,
70%
good discount, yeah.
Yeah, both this flat 18,000, 18 and a half.
18 and a half, yeah. Because we've been here all since it was
Yeah, you
built.
get 70% discount. So the flat is normally got that time you got 60,000. Yeah, he gave me the discount 70, so I get 18 and a half.
Groups of residents also actively organized against the regeneration. During the occupation of empty homes, I spent a few months filming the campaigning efforts. And here are some extracts from a longer film that can be found on the website.
Anybody in? Is anybody wants to sign the petition that, you know, to keep the council housing and council rent? Because, yeah? Because we are trying hard for every angle to stop the council. This is our leaflet. Just if you want to read it, we don't want our homes taken by rich people. Okay, the petitions are together.
Yeah. Well, most people that were in actually signed.
Oh. It was around beginning of the 2000, you know, we started receiving letters, you know, the very sympathetic letters from council saying that, you know, we're gonna knock down and build a nice place for you to live in. You know, they seem to be very considerate suddenly, you know, to all the council tenants. And, you know, and I start going to some of the meetings to, you know, to find out more what is going on. And eventually I realized that that is the privatization, and they are after, you know, to taking the land and our homes from us to, you know, to provide for the rich. So after that, you know, I thought we have to do something about it. And I knew some people from the left groups, and I approached them and I said, this is what is going to happen in Aylesbury. Let's start the campaign. And then we start the campaign.
No more Haygates. Save the Aylesbury. Regeneration, no. Council housing, yes. Save the Aylesbury.
Can I introduce our first speaker, who's Laura Fudge, who's been absolutely key to making sure that the tenants on the Aylesbury estate know exactly what the plans of the council are. This is Southwark Council, and has been tirelessly campaigning to retain council homes.
Right, across the road from here you can see the Haygate, which is a demolition site, and there is new build going on there. They lost 1,000 homes. There are going to be 79 homes for social renting. I live on the Aylesbury next door. The council proclaims that it's not another Haygate, but we are seeing a loss of 900 social rented homes on the Aylesbury at the same time as nearly tripling the density.
Let control! No!
All we've got to do is move forward. It's just a bit of give and take in it, you know?
I am a woman fighting for her home, not an activist, not a campaigner, a woman fighting for her home.
Housing is a basic human need, and it can't be sacrificed to profit. In Tower Hamlets, when I started work, 92% of all housing in our borough was council housing. That was because after the Second World War, after the poverty of the 30s, after the speculators, who's to dig? Who's to dig?
Saturday we had a march. To, you know, the kind of march for homes, to just, you know, to raising our voices, you know, the housing crisis in London and in general in the country. And that night, one of the emptied block in the estate has been occupied.
We are here today resisting the demolition of the Aylesbury estate, which has been ordered in the whole estate.
Repopulate!
This extract concludes my walkthrough of the project. We ended with a clip that gave a glimpse into a more explicitly political and active housing campaign. But I hope that overall you are left with a sense of the different practices, sensibilities, and modes of refusal of the regeneration and demolition that exist within the wider estate. Using the iDoc format to organize my material allows me to bring together these different sensibilities without privileging one over the other. Many thanks for watching.